You're listening to Basically a Sports Show.
Follow us on Twitter at Basically Sports.
Subscribe to our podcast on iTunes.
And download every episode and more at basicallyasportshow.com.
Now here's your hosts, Zach,
Greg,
Mike.
And you're listening to Basically a Sports Show.
Let's do the fiction show.
A fiction show?
A fiction show?
Yeah, they had this thing where we're like, well, we'd never done a fictional show before.
Fuck, every show's fictional to some degree. Come on.
Well, but they had done reporting on the events at school and blah blah blah. But so they made a working title called The Fiction Show, but it stuck, so we went with it. All right, great. The weirdest kids are applying for this thing, and I'm just like, guys, I'm here to be serious. Can I just fill out my paperwork and leave? Put me on the list so I can get home? Because one, I missed the first half of the football game.
Yeah, you didn't miss much.
Well, it was 17-10 at half. That's a decent amount of.
So what? Do you guys have an on-the-air radio station there at the beach?
We do.
Cool.
K-Beach.
All right.
Yeah, their information meeting is next week, but it's in the middle of the day, thank God.
Oh, so this isn't part of that?
No, this is College Beat Productions.
Okay. You guys really need some work on those titles, but okay.
I know. And it's funny because somebody kept misspeaking and calling it College Beach, which they should have thought of that when they went to a school that calls itself The Beach.
Yeah, that's not bad, actually. What do you think, Mike? College Beach better than College Beat?
I think when your school's called The Beach, having something that's so close but not the beach kind of just seems pointless. Just go with The Beach.
You know what College Beat sounds like to me? It sounds like a guy...
Pornography review show?
Well, that or a guy 10 years older than I am is writing for a TV show, and he thinks this would be what the hip, cool name of this thing would be.
Yeah.
The College Beat production. It's like, whoa.
No,
it's a fucking Brady Bunch name, man.
And I went and watched some of their videos from last year just to get caught up on what they're doing. I'm not thoroughly impressed with what they have to offer, so hopefully I can take this thing by the reins, because they're like, well, okay, so they do the local Long Beach Local, which is on events and sports and arts in Long Beach. So you do little segments. And then
how much could there possibly be now that the Ice Dogs are gone?
You know what I found? I was going through my stuff, and I'm proudly displaying it on my wall. When I was a kid, we went to Long Beach Ice Dog games all the time, and I have a Long Beach Ice Dogs pennant that is proudly displayed
That's
on
awesome.
my wall.
Cool. I love that logo.
Now that I live up here, I need to go on I go on eBay every so often and look for a Long Beach Ice Dogs jersey.
Mm-hmm.
Like the one with the ripped sleeves and the chains.
Yeah.
But I can only find ones that are kind of generic with just the Winnipeg Jets-esque shoulder things.
Yeah.
And so it's I want the cool one. You can get a Nikolai Hobby-Bulin one in the not interesting jersey. Yeah, but I want the interesting jersey.
If you're interested in one that's a bit bigger, I just found a XXL one that has the chains.
Oh?
Yeah. Here it is.
Let's see.
Color me interested.
Let's take a look.
Shop.echl, that exists.
I know, and
wow, Zach, that's new even, I think, isn't it?
Oh, wait, never mind. It says out of stock. So I'm so sorry.
Broke his heart in just a split second there.
I got excited. Although,
look at that beautiful bulldog eating up that ratty skate.
Okay, this one I know is not. This one, okay, so this one's serious because it says that there have been no bids on it.
Okay, let's try this again.
Now here's your hosts, Zach,
Greg.
See, the other problem is sometimes they're a little too expensive.
$40?
Oh, 3 days left on it, too.
Yeah, it might start going up. I don't know, though. You know, how many people outside of uniform geeks like us would really be that interested in this?
I mean, I kind of want the white one, but this one will do, too.
That's sharp.
I don't think I could just deny it just because it's blue.
See, if it were me, I'd get the blue, if only because the most memorable memory I have of the Ice Dogs is them playing the Detroit Vipers.
I remember the Vipers, yeah.
was actually a really cool hockey season for like 10-year-old me, because the Vipers won the Turner Cup and the Red Wings won the Stanley Cup. So it was like the two big hockey trophies were in the same city.
Is that a safety or a touchdown? That's a safety. Son of a bitch.
Thanks
for showing up, guys. You know what? Yeah, fuck the Seahawks.
Well, did you expect to win this first game, though?
I had hopes.
I had them picked in the pick'em thread.
So did I.
I had the Packers pick.
I figured
I haven't signed into the pick'em thread.
The Seahawks were probably going to come out and get all full of themselves with the raising of the Super Bowl banner and all that. And
I figured that the NFL's draconian defensive penalties would be in full force. Then, because it's like the first game of the season, they'd make a statement. And
I tell you, after watching just Seattle and just the first half and what little I've seen, I kind of wish I had my Super Bowl pick back from basically a football show.
I haven't gotten to that yet. Who did you pick?
We both picked the Broncos out of the AFC, and we both picked the Saints, but he's got the Broncos winning. I have the Saints winning. Spoiler alert, if you haven't listened to part 2 of our NFL preview,
I haven't
listened
to part 2 yet.
Oh, well.
I'm about like 80% through part 1.
Yeah, it was a long show.
We can buzz through college stuff, but the NFL, you got to cover everything because it's all relevant.
Right.
It's the NFL.
Oh, don't look so sad, Aaron Rodgers.
I thought he looked kind of like pissed or whatever, but anyway.
No, Tom Brady did sad. Tom Brady is the best petulant quarterback.
Did you see Tom Brady's rocking the beard this season?
Really?
Yeah.
Did he cut his damn hair?
Yeah, he has normal length hair, but
so
he has
going to do the beard
going, and it doesn't fit him.
No. Tom Brady's the clean cut pretty boy. He shouldn't be trying to look like a mountain man. It's just not his thing.
Well, if he's going to do the beard, he's got to do the hair too, because him with just a beard, he's going to look like Bill Simmons, except more ridiculous.
Just do it.
Bill Simmons was really attempting that beard hard.
Yeah, I know.
Do either of you remember Jake Plummer's Mountain Man?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah,
absolutely.
Or
he
his
fit for his post NFL career, where he just like went and hid away in the mountains in Idaho.
Or the look that preceded the Jake Plummer Mountain Man look, the Jake Plummer porn star look.
Yes, absolutely. I always thought he would be a better quarterback. He wasn't terrible, but I always thought he'd be a lot better than he turned out to be.
I honestly think Jake Plummer's career is a bit underrated.
I have to agree.
I mean, okay, so it's become less of a big deal now, but for a long while, he was the only quarterback who could claim to have won a playoff game against Tom Brady.
Right. No, when he was with the Broncos, they were legitimate Super Bowl contenders for a couple years.
And before that, he was the only reason the Cardinals remained relevant in any meaningful sense of the word.
He really was. I mean, people kind of write him off now, but he really wasn't bad at all.
No,
I mean, I don't know what his lifetime stats turned out to be or anything, but I remember thinking that if I remember right, in Denver, they were good, but he didn't have quite the supporting cast that
Manning has.
Yeah.
Now.
And with the Cardinals, but I always thought, if this guy could get on a good team, I think he could do a lot of good things. But
when he was with the Broncos, I felt really bad for him when he lost the starting job to Jay Cutler in Denver, because it's not like he had a down year, and it's not like he was like terrible or anything. The Broncos, I think they were something like 4-2 when they ditched him.
Jake Plummer, arguably the greatest quarterback in Arizona State history. Either him or Danny White.
Did he play for?
I got to go with Plummer in that one, I think.
That's kind of cool when you go from the state you played college ball in, and then you play for like the local team. And
I mean, when he was with the Cardinals, it was in the same damn stadium.
Yeah.
They played at Sun Devil Stadium back then.
Back when people thought that was a good idea.
Right. Well, I mean, there was no other place to put the Cardinals.
No, I understand that, but it's just weird that there was no other place to put them. But then, shouldn't that have been a big strike against them even being allowed to move there in the first place? There's no way that situation could repeat today.
But it was an NFL stadium. I mean, it was an NFL caliber stadium. They held Super Bowls there.
Yeah, it was just. I think the biggest issue it had was day games.
Yeah.
Especially early in the season, because it would be 190 degrees on the side that the sun was shining on. Of course, it was a dry heat, so that's okay.
It's really not. People who say it's a dry heat, like,
I haven't been there.
When did they move to Arizona? Do you remember?
It was 88, yeah.
88.
But here's the thing.
How many dome stadiums were even in this country at that point?
In 88, you had the Astrodome. In the NFL, let's see, there was the Astrodome, the Silverdome, I think Atlanta was still playing at Fulton County Stadium at that point. Maybe two? Well, Minnesota was three.
The Sky Dome.
In Canada, you had the Sky Dome and you had Olympic Stadium in Montreal.
So
and Seattle had the Kingdom. Seattle had the Kingdom.
Maybe they should have just built the dome.
I mean, I really like their current stadium.
University of Phoenix Stadium. It's gorgeous. I love going to games there. It's
the Cardinals have always.
Awesome.
I've kind of adopted the Cardinals as like my second team, and I really liked when they were showing the first interior shots of University of Phoenix Stadium back before it had such a stupid name.
Yeah, and rolling out the grass to grow it outside, it's awesome.
They colored sections of the stadium after team colors. And it was something like red, black, white, and gray. And I was like, oh, thank God they didn't put yellow, because I hate it when people use yellow as a Cardinals color.
Yeah, they have the red and gray seats, and supposedly the gray is some Indian design, and when the roof is open, it's the way the sun hits the seats, so it like interacts with the sun for some Native American.
I wouldn't mind a bit of like a southwestern Native American pattern on their uniform. It would look better than the generic piping crap that they have now.
They had such great
Coyotes.
uniforms. They had such great uniforms, the Cardinals did, before they went to this latest look.
I do think their new logo's an update, but everything else.
The logo's great, but the rest of it's garbage. But going with them moving, okay, they went to Phoenix in '88, and I'm still trying to figure out how St. Louis lost the Cardinals, but managed to get the Rams not 7 years later. Now, I know they built the Edward Jones Dome, which was TWA Dome at the time.
They got it. They got the Rams because apparently it was Major League played out in real life. Like, the owner of the Rams wanted to go there.
Frontier.
Right.
Like, she just made it her mission to get there.
Speaking of new stadiums, have you guys seen the design for the Falcons' new stadium and the way the roof works? It is wild.
Does it look like a church?
No, it's a sphincter.
Oh,
yeah,
God.
I mean, it really is, but it opens and closes. It's pretty cool, actually.
It
like
radially.
a sphincter. That's not helping the sphincter comparisons.
No.
Not so much, but it works for them, surprisingly.
Isn't that what BC Place does with the?
Now it does. Now that they put in this stupid new roof, and
isn't that what Olympic Stadium used to do? Before
it's what Olympic Stadium was supposed to do, but like it got jammed the first time they tried it, and it was just stuck.
And
closed.
It stayed closed forever, right? It never opened again.
Yeah, people
just knocked it down and kept it open.
In the 90s, I remember people saying, like, oh, they should try to open it. And my dad would just, like, laugh at the idea. It's like, if they ever try to open that thing, the roof would collapse.
Was it Montreal where parts of it just fell? Or was that Seattle I'm thinking of at the Kingdom? Where
I think that was the Kingdom.
Okay. That was the Kingdom. No. Things didn't fall from the ceiling of Olympic Stadium, but it was locked in place. And any attempt to try to open it probably would have broken.
Well, you talk about like a major league approach to a team. I think that was the same thing that happened with the Expos.
It was, except it wasn't like an evil owner. It was like a concentrated effort on the league.
Yeah. And I think that, I mean, you think about Montreal, they could have built a really nice stadium, and I think they would have done well.
They had plans. I think it was the Bat Park downtown. Yeah. The problem with that was it was just timing. This was around the same time period that the Nordiques skipped town, and the reason why the Nordiques did was because the province of Quebec, from a financial standpoint, was in a toilet in the early and mid 90s, thanks a lot to the separatist campaign.
Right.
And so the province of Quebec didn't even have enough money to keep hospitals open. They had to close hospitals.
Wow.
So, you're in that kind of financial position, and then the Nordiques came and said, we'd like to stay, but we need government assistance to build a new arena. And the government of Quebec said, sorry, we don't have anything. So,
and with that, the coolest jerseys in hockey headed to Colorado to become among the most average jerseys in hockey.
We're probably all better off for that, because you saw what they were going to wear.
Yeah,
had
they stayed.
No.
Oh,
the proposed Wolf jerseys.
Oh, okay. God, I have seen those. Yeah,
teal and navy blue.
I have seen those, yes. Yeah.
I mean, nothing says Quebec like an angry wolf with teal and navy blue sweaters.
The best part was that they tried to keep the Quebec connection with teal fleur-de-lis on the It's like, when I think of the Quebec flag, that proud teal and purple flag.
Oh, my God.
But yeah, I mean, we could take solace in the fact that had the Nords stayed, that probably would have been gone by like 2005.
Oh, definitely, because
It would have gone the way of the Islanders.
right.
Yeah.
And then people would have bitched, and it would have come back probably.
No, you see, what would have happened was it would have gone away around like 2005, and then everyone would have rightfully agreed that it sucked for about maybe 8 years. And then you'd get a bunch of these hipsters being like, I don't know, I kind of liked it. And then they'd start like using it once or twice a year as an alternate just to cater to that
nostalgia
crowd.
would kick in.
Yeah, and then you'd have like people younger than Zach and I who didn't
These
really
are the
live.
Nords I grew up on, man. They're cool.
Like Zach and I lived through the 90s, so we know how gaudy it is, but the kids younger than us just see it like nostalgia.
Well, sure.
And so it's like, and you're like, no, you don't understand that the Houston Rockets 90 set was atrocious. Like
I saw someone wearing one of those the other day.
Who?
Somebody.
Well,
No,
they're
I
stupid
remember
and
what
they're
it was.
wrong.
I remember what. No, it wasn't somebody I saw wearing it. I remember why I remembered it. During the NBA draft, on the little background that they have above the stage, there were whenever a team would come up, they'd be showing different images of their past, like, and so they obviously they were going to show a picture of Yao Ming. They didn't choose Yao Ming in the current jerseys.
Oh, they chose.
They showed Yao Ming in the pajamas.
Did he only wear those for like a year?
Right. But they still—that was the picture they chose.
Oh, and
It's like all these kids I see walking around Southern California, and they're all wearing all these stupid 16-year-olds. They're all wearing the angel with the wing, the Disney. logo.
God.
Yeah.
Why?
They don't understand how bad. They didn't have to watch those first.
They didn't have
like
to
we
watch
did.
that.
No.
The Angels set right before that, when they were still doing the blue and red hats, was about as perfect a baseball uniform as you can get. Now, the new set, the red's great too, but I think
I wish they went to a navy crown.
I can't join you on that. I like the red versus blue thing that LA
I do
baseball's
too.
got going.
It's cool. I mean,
I think that dynamic is very cool, and I want to keep that. But I still think they look better with a navy crown.
I agree, but that's like
But this is fine.
You can't lose either way because they're both great uniforms.
The Angels just need to lose one of the sleeve patches. I don't care which one it is. Just
How about the one that's on the uniform 3 times?
Yeah. Take the standard A off. Just
Like-
take.
And it's not even that it's on the uniform 3 times. It's that the A patch is on the side of the jersey where the A is in the word mark. It's on the right side.
Angels.
I'm just waiting for. They're going to go that Calgary Flames. Remember when the Calgary Flames put like the flaming C twice on the front of the jerseys? Like it's going to get to the point where all Angels players, if they have an A in their last name, then their name on the back will just be replaced with the A.
Oh, that would be hysterical. I'm not endorsing that, but God, would that be funny? But yeah, I love the roundel with the baseball that says Angels baseball.
Well, roundels
Just
rule.
like roundels.
Yeah,
You
I
can't
love
go
roundels. I love me some roundels. I'm not going to deny it. Other than the stupid Disney era uniforms, they've never had a bad look. They're one of those teams that's always been great, except for one time.
The ones with the halos over the crown, I don't like because they look
interesting.
They look like yarmulke. It makes it look like a yarmulke.
I have one of those actually. I have a
do
hat.
too.
I actually was wearing it today, as a matter of fact. The CA with the halo on the top.
Yeah,
Now-
I have the one with the LA. And here's the thing. It worked. It fit on my head fine. The halo looked great for the first, 3 months of wearing it. But now the halo has, the hat shrinks when you wear it. And now the halo is kind of,
Well, I don't know
Warranty.
about yours, but mine looks like somebody drew it when they were drunk sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like it's not so much a circle as just a line that kind of works its way around the hat. But I love my Angels hat.
So it's been a week, guys.
It's been 2
Yeah.
weeks. And you just real quick, we need to get this out of the way. We're going into our 3rd year. This is our 2nd anniversary of this show, guys.
Celebrate good times. Come on.
So,
Celebration.
There's a couple things I want to bring up really quick about the celebration of the basically a podcasting empire here, okay?
Yes.
Oddly enough, this is just the way it fell. If you take all the shows in totality, this is our 150th episode.
How about that?
Under the Basically A banner, yep. 93 episodes of Basically a Sports Show, 27 episodes of Basically a Football Show, 30 episodes of Basically a Geek Show. So there you go. And I just have a real quick trivia question to you guys to see if anybody can get this.
Okay.
Who spoke the first words in the history of Basically a Sports Show?
Andy?
You got a guess, Mike?
I'm going to guess Zach.
Nope. It was you.
Me?
Yep.
Awesome.
The very first show, there's this little like zoop like that, and then all of a sudden you just start talking, and that's how it all began.
Awesome.
Yeah.
The guy with no radio experience gets the first word.
Got the first word, yep, sure enough. I don't remember exactly what you said, but I was listening to the first episode the other day, and I'm like, wow, Mike was actually the first person to speak on this show. And that's about all I have in stats. Trying to figure out our listener is just impossible.
Yeah, it's hard to gauge because, I mean, you think about our more like radio experiment.
Right.
And they would publish the numbers, but we couldn't make heads or tails of the numbers.
I know. There was either like 12 people listening or 22,000, and it was
we didn't know how they were actually tabulated or anything like that. Like, well, they're all collaborated from a bunch of different places we listen to. How do you know that for sure?
And
yes.
And you know what? Their fan base did not appreciate us.
Well, every week it would be like, guys, we either had 11 million listeners or 26. You never knew which was true.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But yeah, that was, well, it was, I think we had the right intention going that route, but it didn't.
It wasn't a good fit. It wasn't, we very much stood out on that network.
It's all right. I mean, I'm still, I've just never deleted them off of Facebook, so I'm still friends with like 2 of them.
Really?
And yeah, and they post stuff like on their shows, and it seems generally about the same as it was when we left them.
It was just, I mean, I won't even try to kid anybody by saying that we run the tightest, cleanest ship in the world here as far as language and that goes. But the stuff they ran on that made us look like a bunch of Boy Scouts. The way that I mean, God almighty. I mean, and we drop F-bombs left and right on this thing, and we looked like just angels compared to the rest of that group. But yeah. It was fun for a while though.
But hey, it's part of our history.
Yeah.
Indeed.
And illustrious history it's been. But yeah, 150
we can think
episodes.
of the more like radio years as our fish stick uniforms.
Exactly.
But except there would be no nostalgic yearning for it.
Did you guys hear why they switched to the fish stick uniforms? Like what the rationale was behind it?
Teal.
Mike
Milbury got drunk.
That would have been my guess.
So
drunk and vomited on a jersey and said, "Make that."
So those uniforms coincided with the ownership change. The guys who took over after the owner who had been with them through the Stanley Cup years. Apparently, I forget all of their names. There was 5 of them, but they were being interviewed as part of that 30 for 30 when they were kind of giving the background of the history of the team. And one of them justified the design by saying, like, we wanted to become Long Island's hockey team, so we wanted to engage the fishing communities on the far eastern coast of Long Island, and we thought this would bring them in by sticking a fisherman.
Yeah.
I mean, you had the whole island on your logo forever, and that didn't bring them in?
No, they needed to see a cartoon fisherman to really feel engaged.
I think what really got them engaged was winning 4 straight Stanley Cups. They seem to really enjoy that part of it.
Yeah.
Also, I will hold on to this too with that particular logo. I think if they had used just the regular Islanders template, didn't make it funky, didn't add teal, just used blue and orange and had a normal hockey template, I think that logo would have had more years than it did.
The fisherman logo?
Yeah, I think it would have been we'd be able to get over that. And
yeah, the fisherman logo
stuck around for a while. It'd probably be gone by now, but it would have survived, I think.
The fisherman logo combined with that color, combined with the teal, combined with the wavy stripes, combined with the wavy numbers that fit in with the wavy stripes, was all just too much.
It really was. You know what would have worked? Nice roundel. Yep. Sure enough.
A nice roundel with maybe an NY hockey stick in the middle that says New York Islanders Hockey Club, established 1972.
They could have gotten Brandiose to do a nice fisherman guy. The angry fisherman with a hockey stick. Come on.
No, it'd have to be an angry island.
Or angry island with a hockey stick.
It would be a cartoon Long Island with a grimace on its face holding a hockey stick.
They have got to put out a comic book someday. They just have to.
And just put all their logos as characters.
Exactly. I mean, it doesn't take. You can see a logo and go right away up. That's Brandiose. That's Celery Man there.
Yeah,
going up against angry something or other with a hockey stick.
Celery. I know exactly what you're talking about.
I can't remember the team. Is that the?
It's like the Emerald City. No, that's the Sasquatch one, isn't it?
Yeah.
Who's the Celery? I know the logo. I just can't think of the team. Were they the ones behind that abomination that was the Readingsville Phillies?
Yes.
Or Reading Phillies.
Yeah.
Reading.
Reading.
Yeah, yep, that's them. Exactly.
Where,
By the way, that bothers me, Reading. Your
name is Reading. Give me a break, right?
But,
Yeah.
that team's got, 3 different logos and 5 different uniform color schemes, and I don't know what the point of any of it is.
Yeah, and if I remember right, the road uniforms look nothing. I mean, there's nothing.
Yeah, nothing's connected.
You would think there were 2 different teams.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's, I don't know, Brandiose. Well, we had them on the logo cast, and they were nice enough guys and all that. I so badly wanted to go. Do you guys ever think you should do a comic book? Because that's just what I've always thought of them.
I'll tell you who needs a new logo, though, the Memphis Redbirds.
Celery Man is
Aren't they just a Cardinals logo?
Nope. Just stealing the Cardinals logo would be a step up. This is what the Memphis Redbirds currently rock.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Yeah, none of that says Memphis or Redbirds except for the words on it.
It's just like this old-timey baseball guy.
There's Celery Man. Let's see who this is.
Celery Man.
The Wilmington Blue Rocks. Angry Moose with a baseball hat in this one.
Hey, don't look now, Greg, but the Packers on the comeback trail.
Yeah, I got a ways to go yet. Who scored a touchdown? Tell me it was either Cobb or Jordy Nelson.
Let's see. Play action fake. Rodgers rolls to his right. Finds Reggie Cobb.
Randall Cobb. See?
I pulled a Bill Simmons.
Yeah, now you got to do the imitation just to make me happy.
I haven't done Bill Simmons in a while.
Cousin Sal does the sports guy. That's I think it's the best
Cousin Sal,
one.
sports guy here. I just saw Reggie Cobb. Randall Cobb. Dang it, catch a touchdown. And there's Russell, Bustle, Hustle, Muscle, and Wilson looking sad on the sidelines. Don't worry, Russell. I'm coming for you.
That's the greatest. It was Cobb, touchdown. All right, I'll take those points.
Yeah, they went for 2 and did not get it.
Yeah.
So you're down 13 with 9 minutes left.
Not against that Seattle defense. Just not going to happen.
I don't know. I've got faith
They
in
marched
Aaron
on the field.
Rodgers.
They're pretty good.
I'll tell you, I've already decided, I told Mike this before you came on, Zach, that I hate fantasy football because I'm sitting here, Percy Harvin scores a touchdown against my team, and I'm like, cool. And I'm like, no, that's not cool. And I don't know how to handle this.
I came to this to the head with fantasy football a couple years ago where I had the same realization. I don't like rooting for guys against my team. So what I do is I just set my lineup every week. I don't even pay attention.
That's probably the best move.
I just, on Monday night, I check to see what the score was.
Or you could be that guy who only drafts players from your team.
Dude, I want to enjoy this, okay? I don't want it to...
Yeah, you would lose every week if you pick guys on your own team.
I'm probably going to lose every week anyway, but that would be even worse.
But yeah, I just I went the route of I picked my team, I set my lineup, I just do not pay attention.
Should we talk maybe a bit about the NFL in a rare moment of clarity admitting that maybe they may have fucked up?
With the Ray Rice thing and the whole... Here's the thing. Okay, here's my question on that. Would Roger Goodell have done that if the reaction to Ray Rice's suspension hadn't been as strong as it was?
No.
I don't think this is coming from a place of hey, we just need to do the right thing.
No, it's coming from a place of everybody got really mad at us. Let's change it.
Right. Exactly.
And even then, the actual disciplinary of 6 games, then lifetime, just seemed like if you're going to go that extra mile and accelerate it to lifetime after a second offense, wouldn't you want to make the first offense a little bit harder than just 6? Wouldn't you make the first offense a year?
Yeah,
and then the second one lifetime?
There's one of two things here. You've either got to make the first offense tougher, or you've got to add a second step in there somewhere, because going from 6 to the lifetime ban... Yeah,
that's,
maybe
that's
six
obviously,
games.
We're not trying to defend anyone that...
No, absolutely not.
Abuse, but at the same point, that's rather aggressive. I'm for punishing those people, but that's a really fast acceleration.
Yeah, they're kind of half pregnant on it. It's like, okay, we're only going to give you 6 games the first time you do it, but the second time, well, that's that. You're gone.
I guess my first thing is, it's clearly a reaction because they got scared at how people reacted to the whole Ray Rice thing. That being said, I'm going to come at this from a practical point of view. While the intent was in all likelihood not sincere, the reality is that there are tougher penalties in place for this sort of thing, and that, I think, is a good thing regardless of the motivations for it. As for going from 6 games to life, I generally don't have a problem with it. Like, yeah, it does look wonky to go from half a season to lifetime ban, but at the same time, if someone is caught, hitting their significant other twice, I'm not going to feel too bad that I don't have to see them anymore on my TV. So I don't know.
My thing, see, if I had my way about it, you would be banned the first time. That'd be it. Mm-hmm. There would be no second chances because it's not like drugs. It's not like some of the other things that you get suspended for. This is something that all along you're not supposed to do. Mm-hmm. You're not supposed to beat people, period. And you're especially not supposed to beat your significant other. You know that right out of the gate. Why do you give them the first chance to make the mistake? Because really, anybody that is predisposed to do that type of thing and they're an NFL player, they know, the worst that's going to happen to me the first time is I'm going to get a 6-game suspension. So I can basically get away with it once. I mean, that's the way I look at it. I think that if you're going to come down harsh on it, then like Zach said, make it the first one a year, the second one the lifetime ban. Don't screw around with 6 games. So that's where I'm at on it.
Yeah. I mean, you've seen even this offseason, NFL teams are willing to sign guys even if they're suspended for a portion of the season.
Yeah.
I mean, friggin' the Patriots did it. Brandon Browner suspended for the first 4 games, but they signed him to a big deal, and they said, yeah, okay.
Yeah, well, I've told the story on this show a gazillion times about Darrell Henley that played for the Rams back in the 90s.
Yeah.
He came out of jail on weekends on work release to play for the Rams. What finally did him in was when they caught him trying to set up a hit on the judge that was presiding over his case. They said, that's it, we got to cut you loose. That's how far it had to go.
Do that, yeah. That's a little excessive.
Yeah, so if you can play, the NFL, I don't know, maybe it's the coaches being sleep deprived or whatever, but they don't seem to care much about anything but whether you have ability or not.
I don't think the NFL having out-of-whack priorities is anything necessarily new.
I'm not really breaking any new ground here, am I?
No. I mean, Pac-Man Jones is still in the league.
Yeah.
And how? Can anyone give me a good reason for why he's... Yeah, how?
Because
he's still can make some plays, yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's, again, messed up priorities.
As long as he... But here's the thing, though, about Pac-Man Jones. After he had his big blow-up, right, when he was with the Titans, have you heard... He hasn't done anything notable since. I mean, he's been a decent player, but
he showed up on TNA Impact Wrestling a couple times, actually.
He got in a bar fight, I think it was just last year. It was on videotape and everything.
Oh, was it?
Yeah.
Well,
and I want to see... He took a swing at a woman. I don't think he hit her, so maybe that's why he didn't get in a lot of trouble, but I might be wrong about that, but I'm sure that... He did something.
He's not getting convicted, though. That's the difference, I guess.
Well, neither did Ben Roethlisberger. Right?
Well, I don't know, man. We could go on and on about the NFL. I mean, I was thinking about this tonight when I was watching the pregame show for this game. One of the first things we ever talked about on the show was how the NFL and the whole thing just seems so over the top. Mm-hmm. And it hasn't changed a bit, but...
I love ESPN football shows. I love ESPN pregame shows. It's the most overhyped thing you could ever imagine. They've got the sets look like a goddamn spaceship.
Yeah,
and
the new one looks ridiculous.
I haven't seen the new one yet. I haven't.
Oh, it's.
I'm looking forward to Sunday.
You think they used to work on a spaceship? Now they work at a space station.
I'm looking forward to Sunday. I'm looking forward to Sunday. I can't wait.
I don't know if it'll be for the pregame shows. I know that this is the Sports Center set I'm talking about.
Okay.
So I don't know if they're going to update the NFL set. They might let the NFL set use the Sports Center Space Hub to do their work.
Oh, yeah. Speaking of the first week of the NFL this Sunday, I can't decide if this is a blessing or a curse. DirecTV is in some sort of dispute with Raycom, and Raycom happens to be the CBS affiliate, and Cleveland happens to own the CBS affiliate. So guess what? We can't watch the Browns this Sunday. I don't know if that's a good or a bad thing.
Wait, DirecTV is in dispute?
Yeah.
So you can't watch them even on the regular CBS channel?
Nope. No, we don't have a CBS channel right now on the local channels, and because of the blackout rules.
Oh.
So I still got NFL Sunday tickets, so I'll still be able to watch games, but just not the Browns. But I don't necessarily think that's a bad thing.
I don't think
sure.
you'll be missing much.
I don't either.
I mean, do you really want it?
Snaps.
He won't be starting, will he?
Who?
Oh, apparently the Steelers were preparing this week as if they're going to see Johnny Manziel at some point.
I'm sure they will.
Yeah, I'm sure the Browns would be stupid not to at least show him in the game.
Well, not only that, but let's be honest about it. It might just be the dumbest coaching staff in all of football. So I don't know what they're going to do, but I can promise you it won't be any good. And
you mean Mike Pettin, who was so eager to coach for the Browns that when he got the job, his daughter was like, "Hey, at least it's an NFL team."
Yeah, pretty much. Well, and that's kind of I think that's kind of the reaction the Browns had too. Well, I guess he's an NFL coach, so why not?
I mean, the Browns are in the NFL, I think.
Technically. They're in the NFL much in the same way the Astros are in Major League Baseball, yeah.
The time's come, guys. Expansion is coming to the NHL.
Oh, fuck me, I saw. Oh, my God.
Here, look, I have to think that the reports that came out last week where they're expanding to 34 or adding 4 new teams, something has to be, to me, that's not right. I think we've all accepted.
This is a league run by very stupid people.
Well,
4 new teams?
I think no, but here's the thing. I think somebody messed up when they were reporting this.
Okay.
Because I think we've all come to the realization that there's going to be 2 more teams at some point to even everything out, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
I think that makes sense. I have to think that when they said 4, somebody got their wires crossed, and there's going to be 4 new cities where you would have relocations with like Phoenix and Florida.
So yeah, 2 new cities and 2 new teams, basically.
Right. That's what makes sense to me. Is if you move
Florida
Phoenix and if you move the Coyotes and Panthers, and then you expand to.
I know Florida's in rough shape economically too, with the news coming out of there, where it turns out that the massive government subsidies that the Panthers have been getting aren't enough to keep them in town.
Right, and supposedly the Broward County, I think it is, they're trying to actually find ways to get out of the lease.
Yeah, Broward County,
so that the Panthers could eventually move.
Credit to them, they're not pulling a Glendale.
Right, they're like, hey, if you guys want to leave, you can leave. Not a big deal to us.
See, but this is the thing we come back to every time with expansion and relocation talk. Where do you move people to?
Well, these are the cities they put out.
Okay.
Quebec, which is a no-brainer.
Right.
They're building an arena. They have somebody that wants to own the team.
And that somebody who wants to own the team also owns a pretty large media empire.
Who just bought the French TV rights for the NHL.
Exactly.
Yes. So I think Quebec's a no-brainer that's going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
The other 3 are the Toronto Clippers.
Oh, this will be so much fun.
God.
Second team Toronto.
That's just the dumbest idea ever.
Where are they gonna? I still don't know where they're gonna play because the planned Markham Arena got shot down because Markham City Council isn't as dumb as Glendale's. And
the idea I heard, which would be interesting and probably would make sense, although it would be probably a little dirty to get there. Who owns the Maple Leafs right now, Mike?
Maple Leaf Sports and Entertainment.
But who owns Maple Leaf Sports and Entertainment?
Rogers and Bell.
Rogers and Bell.
Yes.
The idea that I heard put out is that one of the 2 leaves the Maple Leafs and gets the new expansion team.
Okay.
And they both play in the Air Canada Center.
No.
Here's the thing, and I'm going to ask this question again. Is there enough of a market for a second team in Toronto?
Okay, so I have a bit to say on this, and
you do. You're a resident of the GTA.
The answer is kind of.
Okay.
Okay, here's how it works. There is a vocal minority of hockey fans in Southern Ontario who, like Clippers fans, are just contrarians and don't want to root for the Maple Leafs just because. Now, that market is currently being cornered by 2 other teams, the Senators and the Red Wings. Red Wings more so once you get south of London and get more into the Chatham-Windsor area.
Right.
How do the Sabres factor into that?
The Sabres,
'cause I know they get like the Niagara area, but how far to Toronto?
They're in Niagara, but they really don't have much of a fan base outside of that currently, just kind of because they suck.
Do they even get like into Hamilton or north of Hamilton?
Not really, no.
Okay.
Like honestly, when the Hamilton Predators were almost a thing, and the Sabres were freaking out like, you're going to cost us, like, maybe in terms of that's where the Niagara fans would choose to go, but it's not like there's a huge Sabres following in Hamilton. So you've really got the Red Wings, and then you got the Senators. And the Senators are basically the go-to team for anyone who doesn't want to root for the Maple Leafs but wants to root for an Ontario team. You kind of just root for the Senators. Incidentally, I'd probably wager that the Senators probably have more fans among Southern Ontario contrarian hockey fans than they actually do in Ottawa. But the thing about all this is that there is a contrarian market that a second non-Leafs Toronto team could tap into. Could. The thing is, though, and again, it's the GTA and it's hockey. So you combine that contrarian crowd, which they'd have to tap into, with just your general Leafs fans who want to go to a game but can't afford Leafs tickets. And you probably have enough people to cobble together a solid ticket base.
Right.
Now,
they could survive financially.
Now, are you going to build a fan base solid enough and large enough to really rival the Maple Leafs? No. But, if you're not looking to do that, if you're just looking to survive, I think you could make it work. It just wouldn't be the best idea in terms of building a brand and building a fan base. But in terms of just pure economic survival, and that's why I called it, it would be the NHL's version of the Clippers. There's no way, just like the Clippers are never going to be LA's team, this team will never be Toronto's NHL team.
Well, no. Right. Which is why my scenario of one of the two media conglomerates backing out of the Maple Leafs and picking one, that would be a hell battle to decide which one of them would leave. Yeah. Either way, you're never going to equal the Maple Leafs in terms of franchise value.
Exactly.
No, and you're picking. I mean, who's going to say, okay, I'll take the Clippers version instead of the Maple Leafs? No one's going to want to do that.
Exactly.
And so that's kind of my thing. It's that this team, Greg, when you ask, is there a market? I mean, the answer is kind of, because they'd be the Clippers of the NHL. They'd have, just due to the nature of everything, they'd probably be able to get enough people to fill the arena each night. But would they ever rival the Maple Leafs? No.
But I don't think the NHL's concerned about that. I think you're saying kind of. I think kind of in Canada is worth more money than what you're seeing in Phoenix or Florida.
Like definitely would be in Las Vegas or something like that.
Oh, right. it would definitely. A second team in Toronto, as lackluster as the support would still be miles ahead, whatever the hell's happening in Sunrise.
It makes sense for the NHL to put a second team in Toronto. It does. It makes enough sense to me. I'd be okay with it. They may not be the most passionate fan base, but whatever. They'll exist. It's fine.
I'd want them to, pay whatever they had to pay, though, to actually name themselves the Toronto Clippers.
Puck Daddy, Greg Wyszynski on Yahoo, his offering up for a name would be the Toronto Rakes to battle the Leafs.
Oh God!
I mean, there was the what was it? The Toronto Legacy. That was the Markham plan,
right?
But again, here's the thing. Here's the thing, though. MLSE, the company that owns the Maple Leafs, owns the Air Canada Centre. So, okay, Toronto had two hockey teams before. If I'll take you back to the days of the WHA, when the Toronto Toros were competing for the hearts and minds of Torontonians and the Maple Leafs, and they played.
Nothing says Toronto like the Spanish word for bull.
Yeah, but the Toronto Maple Leafs, they played it, and the Toros played at Maple Leaf Gardens, and the Maple Leafs, they didn't kick them out, but they turn off lights in the middle of practice.
Jeez.
and they turned off the heating in the locker rooms on game day for the Toros. So, obviously, I don't think the NHL would put up with that if it was like another NHL team. But
and they would have to pay a substantial amount of rent to the Maple Leafs.
Exactly. I mean, I wouldn't look at the Clippers model that lease that Donald Sterling got at the Staples Center as the model to follow, because that was kind of a rare one-time sort of thing that he was able to get.
Right.
If I'm MLSE and some other upstart ownership group comes around with the Toronto B team, and they're like, well, we want to play in the Air Canada Center. I'd be like, oh, yes, we do too, because we could always use more money.
Well, I could see where they use it as a stopgap, and maybe they put one in, I don't know.
I mean, it would have to be in the northern suburbs. It would probably have to be in the northern suburbs. So you're talking either York or Markham or even Vaughan, maybe.
Yeah.
But again, Markham shot down that plan to build that huge stadium that would have been there to attract a second team.
Well, wasn't that stadium? Weren't they saying that was just going to be used for concerts anyway?
I heard it was originally pitched by the people trying to get the Legacy started up.
Stupid name.
Yeah, it was a stupid name. It was a stupid logo too. But but
Legacy.
Yeah, that was
Toronto Legacy.
Well, that's stupid for a lot of reasons, not the least of which Legacy. When you think of Legacy and hockey in Toronto, you don't think of the new team.
No, that would have been their attempt to kind of bridge that gap. We're a new team, but we're playing into Toronto's hockey legacy.
Okay, sure.
Other than that, I don't know.
Whoa. Those are some bad jerseys, man.
Well, they were just mock-ups, but that's the logo that they were touting.
Well, I'm not crazy about Toronto, but you guys have made a compelling case where I'm going to go, okay, fine, I'm all right with that.
Toronto could work.
Yeah, okay.
They could work in the same way the Clippers work. The Clippers work.
Yes.
But
didn't it take the Clippers a long time to get to the point where they drew anything other than people that curiosity seekers, basically?
Yeah, but they managed to survive on that. They still made money. That's the thing.
Right.
And that's what this Toronto team would be.
Sterling never cared.
I mean, that's what this Toronto team would be. They'd have, their, core contrarian fan base, and then they'd get people who just kind of want to see an NHL game, and that would be it. And you know what? It's Toronto, so that would be enough.
Yeah, I mean, with regards to the NHL, if the New York City area can support 3 teams...
Toronto could support 2 easily.
Toronto could support 2.
I mean, it would be... I'd laugh my ass off. I'd find it hilarious because I've always kind of wanted my own version of the Clippers, Zach. And
you could have a Legacy Village,
Legacy living room.
You'd have your own JV squad to poke fun at.
And if they did play in the Air Canada Center for a couple years, they'd probably take all the Maple Leaf Stanley Cup banners down.
No, they'd hang big pictures of their players over them.
Well, that's got to be tough for the Clippers to do because there's only 12 men on an NBA roster.
Oh,
right.
That's leaving 5 banners that are just going to hang there no matter what.
Well, they don't.
It's a giant.
Right. The Lakers have a big wall, and I think they put all the Minneapolis ones on one banner. So I think there's 11 titles in Los Angeles.
Oh, so they can do it. They can cover them all
12 titles
up.
in Los Angeles. Yeah, and so I think there's 3 rows of 4, and so then they cover that part up, and then of course the Kings moved their banners off the wall and hung them from the rafters on the other side.
So we've got Toronto. So who else are we looking at here? I heard Las Vegas, which I just
Las Vegas was the other one that was out there,
which is a stupid idea.
Supposedly AEG and the MGM are in the process of building a big arena for Las Vegas,
right?
Not necessarily for a team, but for concerts and things of that nature.
But it could serve for an NHL team.
The nice thing about Las Vegas, I suppose, would be that the ownership there is going to have money to burn, so they don't really – because I just don't know that there's enough native Las Vegas people. I don't know what you would even call them.
Las Vegasians?
Las Vegasites? I don't know. But
Las Vegans.
How big is the actual population of that city isn't that big.
It's not big.
Yeah.
But and the majority of them work in the gaming industry, and so they work at night.
Right. Which means and they're shift workers, which means they probably don't have the income to spend on season ticket packages.
Here's the thing, and here's the argument for Vegas that it makes financial sense. Because you know who's going to buy up all the suites and buy up a bunch of tickets? All the casinos.
Yeah.
And they're gonna buy them. I would have no doubt that it would be at least almost a sellout every night. The problem is, it's going to be a papered house.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be the casinos buy up all these tickets, but not necessarily anyone goes.
Right.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing.
And the people that do go are people that they're on vacation.
Well, yeah,
like,
they're going to put their high rollers in
weekend.
there and stuff just to impress people. I mean, you're not going to have a lot of true hockey fans at their games.
No, you're going to have people that like, hey, my team's the Bruins are playing in Vegas this weekend. Let's go down there, see the game on Saturday, and we'll go out Friday and Sunday.
Right.
But
you stay there for a weekend.
Here's the thing that I'm having trouble with. If I'm in Vegas, and let's just say I'm in Vegas during the hockey season.
Sure.
And I am a hockey fan.
Yes.
And some casino tries to comp me tickets. I'm sorry, I'm not going to spend a night in Las Vegas watching the Las Vegas whatevers play the Trap against the Predators.
Yeah. That's a good point.
I'm going to go to a casino. I'm going to probably lose a lot of money at blackjack, or I'm going to go see a show. But I'm not going to waste a night in Las Vegas to watch a crappy expansion team in the middle of the desert play, the heated divisional rivalry with the goddamn Coyotes or something.
Right. Well, here's the other thing that I heard in discussion and makes sense. Where it's kind of more along my lines, where there's 2 expansion teams and 2 relocations. The relocations would be Vegas and either Seattle or Quebec. And then the expansions would be Toronto and Quebec or Seattle, whichever one doesn't get the relocation.
See, I think if it's me, I'm putting the expansion team in the best bet. You know what I mean? Like the place I know that's going to work, that's where I put the expansion team.
Well, because the reason that they would move a relocation to Vegas is so that you could have sort of. We look.
You
at
have a core ready to go.
Right. Well, we look now and we say, oh, Colorado's so successful as a hockey market.
Well, because they had a pre-made team come in.
Same with Dallas.
Yeah.
How much does that have to do with their teams winning cups?
Meanwhile, let's look at the Atlanta Thrashers.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, so that definitely is the way to go. I want to talk a bit about Seattle, though, because I'm not sure. Where would they play?
I don't think Seattle's going to work.
Where would they play? As far as I know,
right.
As far as I know. As far as I know, the only plan to build an arena there is contingent on them getting an NBA team, and there aren't exactly NBA teams lining up to move there at the moment. And the NBA's been rather quiet on the issue of expansion for their league, which, like the NHL, they shouldn't do. But that's another story. The point being that, let's say the NHL says, oh, well, they'll just play at the Key Arena, and they'll play there until the Sonics come back, and then we'll just get in on that arena deal. Well, okay, but what if the Sonics don't come back? What if Seattle goes years and years without another NBA team, and you're stuck in this unsuitable arena, and at some point then you've just got to start looking for a better arena in Seattle.
Or move again.
And so, I don't know. And what's weird about all this is that the thing that would guarantee an arena, the Sonics coming back to Seattle, is probably the reason why the NHL shouldn't go to Seattle, because Seattle wants the Sonics back. Seattle's going to embrace, whatever basketball team becomes the new Sonics. Whereas, even if the NHL beats the NBA there, the NHL team's just going to be second fiddle to the NBA team, and that's not ideal considering that their seasons overlap.
Right. And I think the other thing that they're banking on, maybe, or at least the way Seattle would buy into it, is, okay, we'll build the arena and the hockey team can come here. But we're building the arena so that we can get the basketball team.
Yeah.
We're building the arena because the hockey team's coming, also in the hopes of getting the basketball team. Right?
Mm-hmm. I mean, Seattle, well, they do support the teams they have. What's the soccer team?
The Sounders.
I mean, they draw very well.
Right, but that's the other thing that's interesting in Seattle compared to all these other places. Every other place you go to, we're talking about the big 4 sports, right?
Right.
In Seattle, it's a big 5.
It is a big 5, yeah. There's no question about it.
Or if you want to throw in the University of Washington, it's a big 6.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to throw in the college, too.
Yeah, that's just, you're just asking people, you're adding, well, essentially you're going to be adding 2 teams and asking the same group of fans to add 2 more games or 2 more sports budgets to their budget. I just don't.
Right.
I don't know.
Plus, you mentioned the Sounders. I mean, everywhere else, tickets are usually lower for soccer games. In Seattle, they actually charge regular sporting game prices,
like real sport prices.
Right? Yeah. Well, real league prices. I'll put it that way.
Well, I mean, I'll give them credit. They support the hell out of that team, and more power to them.
They'll put 50,000 in a football stadium.
But you want to know what?
Team.
Yeah.
You want to know what? I'm sorry, I'm not paying those prices so I can stand for the length for 90 minutes.
Yeah, that depends on where you go, but yeah, but yeah, I mean, the NHL team would be 5th or 6th on the depth chart in terms of people caring and where the money goes.
I mean,
if they put the money in the Seahawks, they're going to put the money in the Mariners, win or lose. They're going to put the money in the Supersonics, whether they come back, and the Sounders are a very good business proposition for the city of Seattle.
Right.
So the NHL team, no matter how successful they get, they're not going to be. If everything goes the way that the city of Seattle wants it to, the NHL team will be far from an afterthought.
I just don't know that Seattle's a great market for hockey. I just don't see it.
I mean, they had the very first Stanley Cup champion American Stanley Cup champion.
The first American Stanley Cup.
Right, that's what I meant.
Well, back in 1904?
1917, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Well,
they were going to win a second one, but that damn flu went.
Them and the Montreal Canadiens, they were tied. That series was tied.
Right,
the
they were
flu
tied.
hit.
They were tied.
And then the flu killed both teams.
Yeah.
Those were the days, man.
So then, everyone was like, well, okay. Guess we're not having a Stanley Cup champion this year.
I don't know. I mean, when you talk about it, Toronto actually makes more sense than Seattle does.
Look, I'm okay with Quebec City and then either Toronto or Seattle getting relocations, but I'm still not happy about the league expanding. If we're being realistic here, the NHL could probably stand to cut.
Yeah, I agree.
2 to 4 teams.
I agree completely. I think every league short of the NFL could benefit from that.
And to bring it up to 32 teams, 34 is just insane.
No, 34 makes no sense.
But
I mean, if they want to add 4 more expansion teams, you realize that's like 100 NHL players,
right?
And add in another 100 in the AHL.
Are you going to start bringing up ECHL teams into the NHL level?
Well, I mean, they're trying to move the ECHL up to the AHL for a Western division.
But if you think about it, though, if you add 4 new expansion teams, okay, that's basically you've added the the Lake Erie Monsters and 3 other AHL teams. Is what you've done. Is you've put them in the league because
you got to think you got to add 100 players that are roughly 100 that aren't currently in the NHL right this second.
Right.
And then there are 100 guys that aren't in the AHL that would then be in the AHL.
Right.
Too.
Your quality of play is going to drop.
Everyone's going to get watered down.
Yeah, I mean, because it's not like the old days of the original 6 where you could add what was in the original expansion. They added in the 68 or 67 expansion, what they add 4 teams?
6 teams.
They had
6
6 and they doubled, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, but back then there was plenty of talent to cover that. It's not the same today. Yeah.
I mean, a lot of people argue that the league was pretty watered down after the first couple expansions. And that's why they stopped expanding for a while.
Well, you have all those old timers. When they added 6 more teams in '67, it really watered down things down.
Well, I mean, you got to think. For example, all the 6 teams they made all the 6 teams and they put them all in the same conference in the West, so that one of them would eventually go to the Stanley Cup.
Yeah,
right.
So the Blues went to the first 4 Stanley Cup finals in their existence and got, I think, swept in every single one. Right?
Yes, they did. They did.
Right.
Yeah, the first.
That's why a lot of people. There's a lot of people that the people that want to do the Bobby Orr argument as being one of the best players. I also have. There's also the other side of the argument that Bobby Orr was the greatest player in a watered down league. So.
Yeah,
it's an interesting little thing.
So he got fat beating up on the St. Louis, the not quite NHL ready St. Louis Blues.
So were the Flyers in the West in that?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It was the division name. The conference names back then were stupid because they still called them East and West, but it was really just original 6 and expansion.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if they were West, I mean, you had St. Louis, L.A., Oakland. God, the Oakland Golden Seals, man. It always trips me out to think that Oakland was one of the places that the NHL expanded to first.
Apparently they wanted San Francisco, but they couldn't get an arena.
Apparently the Raiders have a stadium deal?
No way.
Apparently, but here's the weird part about that. Last I heard, the city of Oakland was, like, broke.
Right. Well, here's the way it works. The city of Oakland, the city would be gifting the land from that stadium that they built on to the Raiders. Oakland would also have to raise $120 million to pay off the debt from the original expansion of the Coliseum, which would then be torn down. By the way, all these discussions, no one talked to the A's.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we're going to tear down your stadium, but we have a 10-year lease. That's fine.
And
Well,
we have
see,
baseball games to play.
Don't the A's want to move to San Jose or somewhere, though?
Right, but
They
the Giants
do.
won't let them.
Well, see, the Giants need to get over that shit, and soon.
Yeah.
I mean, isn't Oakland closer to San Francisco? I'm sure it is than San Jose is.
The problem is the Bay is U-shaped, right? The way that the whole thing goes.
Right.
San Francisco's at one point, Oakland's at the other, and San Jose is at the bottom of the Bay, where it belongs. Dumb office park.
I'm still on board with the idea of the Raiders going to San Antonio.
Yeah, I'm a little
It makes so
disappointed.
much sense.
I'm a little disappointed that they might have a stadium deal. I really wanted them to go to San Antonio.
I'm still skeptical about the supposed stadium deal, again, because the city's broke, and the A's probably are going to have something to say about this. The point being, I'm not exactly convinced that this stadium deal in Oakland is a done thing yet.
Oh no, it's far from being done. It's just something that's being in talks.
Yeah, no, we got to get them to San Antonio. What do we need to do to get this done?
We need to get them to San Antonio, and they need to build a statue of Al Davis out front, flipping the double bird in the direction of Oakland. If I were dictator of the world, the Giants could go piss up a rope as far as San Jose is concerned. The A's could move to San Jose. The Raiders could move to San Antonio. And then L.A. could get the Rams and the Chargers.
Well, you know what? Don't you think that seriously, if the A's, I think they would draw really well in San Jose for some reason. I don't know why, but I think they'd do all right.
It would depend, they are baseball's version of the Sharks, so...
I've always just wanted that to exist so I could just shorten the whole thing and call them the San Jose's. No need for...
Good enough for me.
City name, just San Jose.
Good enough for me. Speaking of the A's, and Mike, your prediction, and Zach, I think we're both happy about this. Our Angels are now 5 games up on those Oakland A's.
Yes,
hey,
they are.
People were writing the A's off early on, but it's baseball. You can't freak out after the first month of baseball. There's 162 games.
5 games up. Look at them go.
Yeah. No, and the thing that made that so sweet was last weekend. So the A's come in for a 4-game series, right? Angels are only up a game. The A's got them 2 out of 3 up in Oakland last weekend. In Oakland, they staggered their pitching starts so they'd have the rotation set up exactly how they wanted it set up, so they could knock out the Angels and retake first place. They got it all set up. They did all their preparations, and then they got their asses kicked.
Yes, they did.
And the Angels were down their best pitcher, and they had to use 8 relievers in one game, a game that was a shutout. And they swept them all 4 games.
I just want to go back to way back, I don't even remember, back in April, I guess, when we did the baseball preview show. And we talked about how the Angels, because a lot of people thought the Angels were going to be bad this year because they were bad last year. And we said, no, if they're healthy, they're going to be really tough.
Mike had faith.
Mike had faith.
Healthy, and if they could fix their bullpen.
Yes.
And lo and behold, they've been healthy. They fixed the bullpen. And guess what?
They're the best team in baseball. Best record in baseball right now. Gotta love it.
You know what? I'm almost tempted to go buy an A's cap.
Angels cap.
Angels cap. Sorry, yeah.
I've got like 4 of them. I'll send you one of mine.
I want the one with the halo, so I can have have my yarmulke hat.
No. The halo stays with me. Anyway,
in all of its deformed, warped glory.
Exactly. But anyway, if we've got nothing else, I'm on a time limit tonight, so we need to wrap up.
Here's my proposal: lightning round of tabs.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, Zach's tabs.
Zach's tabs.
Beautiful. Let's go.
Lightning round.
The lightning round.
Okay. Here we go.
60 seconds on the clock.
First up, the Ravens unveiled Ray Lewis' statue. Look at that.
Oh, God.
Does it have antlers?
Well, no. And the Ravens were tweeting out quotes that were not Ray Lewis's quotes. They were just cool quotes. The National Beard and Mustache Championships.
Oh, God.
Oh, well, actually, damn it, this is an old link. But anyway, I'm just going to show you all these funny beards from last year's National Beard and Mustache Championships.
Did they have the guy from that made his beard or his mustache or whatever into a Washington Nationals, the W? Have you seen that?
No, I've seen that, but yeah. Wes Welker, we forgot to mention him, tested positive for Molly, even though he says he didn't do it.
And then blamed the testing.
Yep. And some sad news to pass along, guys. It seems that Derek Jeter has died, and the Yankees will honor him for this final month. Oh, wait, no,
Derek.
they're just retiring his number on Sunday before his season's even done? And they're going to wear a patch with his number on it for the rest of the season, a whole month?
Yeah.
When he's still on the team?
Yes.
Yeah.
God, that hat, Scotty.
The whole thing's stupid. I mean, they didn't do this shit for Lou Gehrig and Babe Ruth. And Derek Jeter, don't get me wrong, he's a pretty good player. Had a very solid, consistent career, but come on. Let's quit acting like he's freaking Mickey Mantle or something.
Also last week, the new Madden came out for all the systems, but there's been a couple weird glitches.
I just got this game today, actually.
One of the
Titans glitch is hysterical.
A rookie linebacker for the Browns. Well, there's a glitch in the system. When they put his information in, they listed him at 1'2". So he's in the game as a very tiny, tiny man.
Oh, that's a Titans guy. That's what I was talking about.
Well, yeah, he was, for some reason in this thing, he got traded, but he's a Browns rookie.
I love what he...
Yeah, there's a guy that hurdles over him. Also, there's another glitch. Well, they added a new physics engine into the game.
Yes.
And there's been a couple of missteps, like guys getting hurdled 30 yards in the air.
Oh, that's...
Gets hurled 30 yards downfield. Quick trip up to Canada. Mike, did you hear about TSN's new channels?
No, I haven't, actually.
Well, they might just beat ESPN to the Ocho.
Really?
Because on August 26th, TSN launched TSNs. They already had 1 and 2. Now they have 3, 4, and 5.
Hey.
Woo!
I still like ESPN to get to the Ocho first, but...
They're mostly going to be filled with... TSN 3 will be home to Winnipeg Jets regional broadcast. TSN 4 will carry the Leafs. TSN 5 will be the Ottawa Senators.
I gotta say that freaking hurdle in the air thing glitches. I've watched it since we've put it up, and it's hysterical.
It's awesome.
And you see the little tiny man.
Yes, the tiny man.
I like that he got the fumble here. Did they actually show him running or anything?
Oh no, but he did pick up the football.
So has anybody played Madden, the new Madden? I haven't.
I just
played Madden in years.
I haven't either.
I just played a game of Madden before I logged on to do the show.
How was it?
It's a Madden game.
Okay.
And the only other thing I had, but it's something that came and gone, and we didn't need to talk about it. Remember, ESPN, they talked about Michael Sam showering habits.
Yes.
Mm-hmm. So that was dumb.
That was really dumb.
Cut by the Rams, picked up by the Dallas Cowboys practice squad. Good luck to you, Michael. Hopefully you stick.
I hope so too.
Anyway, that's the tabs. Lightning round.
Well, we are boldly going into our third year of the show, so that's pretty cool. And I guess
we got 3 shows going strong.
3 shows going strong. Yeah, we're just cranking out the product these days. Speaking of which, you can catch the NFL preview from Basically a Football Show is now posted, both halves of it.
If you want more of Zach's tabs, we're in negotiations for bats. Basically a tab
Basically a tab show. Follow us on Twitter at Basically Sports. You can go to the website, basicallyasportshow.com. Listen to us on all the various platforms, iTunes, Stitcher, Spreaker, YouTube, and you can also listen on the website and all that. Basically, Geek Show number 30 will be up tomorrow. We're just putting shows out faster than I can keep up. So with that, we're going to call it a night. Any final thoughts, guys?
Go Colts.
Go Toronto Clippers.
There you go. I'm with Mike. Go Toronto Clippers. All right, that's going to do it. We'll see you next time right here on Basically a Sports Show.
See ya.
Adios.
What they're doing this time around is they're letting fans vote on classic games to air. And
Clint Marchuk.
Oh.
I'm sorry. That was bad. Hi, I'm Zach.
Hi, this is Greg.
I'm Mike.
And this is Andy, and you're listening to Basically a Sports Show.
Oh, by the way, before we start the show, we should probably do some sort of disclaimer warning that there might and will be profanity.
Fuck you. Fuck this.
This is bullshit.
Fuck him.
Fucks up.
Fucking awesome.
Patrick Kane.
Yeah, Kaner.
When you get your Patrick Kane action figure, does he come with a six-pack?
A real six-pack or a toy six-pack? Or both?
No, a real.
He comes with 2 unattractive women to have sex with in the back of the limo. Why that?
Excuse me.
It's all right. What the hell?
I just thrown a line real quick.
Get my pre-show high on.
There, I'm done. Now, just give me a second to get the rig out so I can get my heroin shot in here and get a little speed bump going.
Whoa. What the hell's going on here?
What?
I don't know.
You sound like you're becoming possessed. Whoa! Oh, God!
It is quite simply the most sophisticated robot on Earth.
We just found the show's intro, I think, right here with this bullshit.
I do believe they think I am some sort of god.
Push the Greg. Greg, you shat your pants again, Greg. Go ahead and fix that.
He's more machine now than man. Twisted and evil.
That's the funniest thing.
Awesome.
But, I don't even
Is
think
it
it's
okay now?
I'm using that in the intro, dude. That's perfect. You just hear this robotic. The cliche Chicago Bears and this.
What?
Fuck that.
What?
Wow.
Mike.
Zombie attack.
Mike, are you packing yourself in a box? What?
No. Yeah, no, I just quickly wanted to wipe my nose. I've been coming down with something lately.
You're wiping your nose?
Jesus, dude. You using like sandpaper or what?
They go to all the classrooms and strip malls, whatever.
Hey, Zach. Fix your mic.
Fuck's sake! No. I haven't even used this since then. Fuck that. Fuck you, Skype. This is some bullshit.
It's getting to become a show tradition.
Poker, it has a certain degree of class, if you will.
A little, it did.
Until every douche nozzle decided he was an expert poker player.
Every team from the AFC North Division must use the guitar solo from Motley Crue's Kickstart My Heart prior to kickoffs. The only team that can opt out of this is the Pittsburgh Steelers, who can play Nirvana's Rape Me during games in which Roethlisberger starts a quarter.
I could make the same argument about, like, I don't know, just leave me alone. So I like to be One of our longtime listeners always asks why we have a TV set in our logo. Well, here's why. Because fuck off, that's why.
And because we just talked about sports on TV. They do it on Mother's Day for breast cancer. Do pink bats and pink gloves, and I think that's about it. Yeah. And then on Father's Day, they do prostate awareness, and they
Brown.
No.
I swear to God, if they put thank you fans on the ice, I will jump out of the stands, drop trow, and just right there.
All black quarterbacks must be vetted by the High Council of Blackness for black certification. Any cornball brothers will be punished. Prior to retirement, Tim Tebow must start at quarterback for every NFL team because, those jerseys aren't going to sell themselves. We will be moving kickoffs to midfield because go yourselves. But the major thing we're going to do is do some adjustments to the NFL Combine. Players will be given $100,000, and for a 24-hour period, they will endure a gauntlet of needy family members, drug dealers, and prostitutes.
Please hang up and try again.